All right, no huge surprise here with the the mutually agreeing to part ways in Columbus with Torts and Jarmo Kekalainen there. What do you make of what happens next for both of these parties involved? Let's start with the team. Where do they go next season?
Well, they have to determine what their new character is going to be. I mean, the team is usually a direct reflection of your coach, and they play, in the same kind of image of your coach, and they did. They played exactly the way John Tortorella is as a person. He's very structured. He's very black and white, and this is what we're going to do. He's a hardworking guy. The team's a hardworking team. Do you want to keep that same style of play, or do you want to open it up a little bit? So in that regard, you've got to determine now for Jarmo Kekalainen, if we're going to do that, do we need some new players? Do we need some speedier players? Do we want to start opening things up? And then do we get a coach who wants to do that, play with that flavor, or do we want to get a coach who wants to follow the same mantra and the same positions that John has done in the last 6 years? Now, Jarmo Kekalainen is much like John Tortorella. He's very structured. He's very thoughtful. He's an extremely hardworking general manager. He knows every player in the league and junior players, and he's much like a Torts. It's a chess match, and it's not a short game. It's a long game. But you might have to change things up now, and that's what I think is going to happen in Columbus. They've got to get a faster brand of hockey because the game's getting even faster. And I think Columbus this year at times didn't have the firepower to keep going. And I think it's going to be a combination of both. And you get a combination of some, whether young draft picks or you've got possibly some possible free agents, possible trades to change the look of the team. But you can see the players out and the players in. You've got some younger guys there, Patrick Laine and Roslovic, Michael Del Zotto on the back end, Pierre-Luc Dubois, pretty much the same age as Patrick Laine. But for me, that's where this team's they've got to make their decision as to where they go. And you don't make it overnight. And Jarmo Kekalainen's not going to make it overnight. He didn't make the decision, which I thought was a great decision to wait to the end of the year. Yeah. Because I think both parties knew that, hey, you know what? I've done all I could here. And Torts did. I thought Torts did a great job with that team. He got the best out of all the players that were there. And at the end of the day, a lot of those players are going to go, hey, you made me a better player. You do that when you retire, like, wow, you really made me a better player. You don't realize it at the time because you think, man, he's pushing me a little too hard. But at the end of the day, he made a lot of those players play to the potential and more.
And let's be clear, this is a decision, not one that's made out of animosity. These two men, Kekalainen and Tortorella, have a great amount of respect for one another. Kekalainen by his own admission. There is daily conversation that goes on with respect to he and John Tortorella about, Tortorella's tactics, his approach to managing this roster of players. And I think ultimately these two men come to a decision where it's just best for us both, the organization and for Tortorella himself, that we go in different directions. And I'm sure to reader's point, Kekalainen has a notion in his head what this team will look like future in terms of its identity. And I think, too, rather straightforward point, Tortorella, pretty good time, pretty good exit strategy. Yeah. He's really, I think, not worn out his welcome. He's got to the end of the line where the Columbus Blue Jackets are concerned. I don't know that this is long-term for Tortorella, the preferred spot to be where, a coaching assignment is concerned. And I think leaves him in a position where, with a handful, potentially, of landing spots out there come this summer, an opportunity where Tortorella might just want to play it kind of fast and loose.
All right.
Free and easy.
To add that as well, there's a shelf life for coaching in the National Hockey.
Hired to be fired. We say it all the time.
And he probably has exceeded that shelf life.
I agree with
6 years.
He has.
The fourth longest tenured coach in the NHL.
If you haven't got to a conference final,
we're a knee-jerk league.
Yeah, if you haven't got to a conference final after like 3 or 4 years, and you might have got the expectations that the team, the general manager set out, but if you're not getting to that next step, the conference final, winning a championship, losing in a final, then it's time to change things up. So that's where we're at now, I think, as well. And it's what do the coaches say? The day you're hired is one day closer to the day you're being fired. Right. This isn't a firing, but it's a separation. So, I mean, it's inevitable. 6 years is a great run
for any
coach.
Yeah.
So, good luck in Columbus and good luck to Torts.